The following is a paid program and the views and opinions expressed are those of the host and other speakers and do not reflect the views and opinions of TVG Channel 28.
Good evening, pleasant good evening to you all. It's great to back once again to discuss events happening in our nation, the excitement across our country as His Excellency outlines new initiatives, delivers on his commitments to our nation, and ultimately the beneficiaries are us, the citizens of our nation. You know, recently the President actually discuss some new initiatives that I feel it is very important for us to understand as we look at where Guyana is transforming into in the agriculture sector especially. Recently he talked about millets, and some folks may not understand what millets are, and that Guyana is going to be a major producer of millets. And that was a discussion that we had when we visited India. And what is millet? It's like a corn type of product that is used for flour and many other products across the world. And Guyana's soil weather conditions is perfect for such an item as the millets. And that's going to be a big development. You know, so if you're out there, you have farmlands, government will open new farmlands. It's something I really would advise folks to research how they can get involved in an early stage. With the Caribbean looking to solve upwards of a $10 billion import bill of food and food security in the region alone, much as around the world, Guyana is poised to deliver food security. It's going to be one of our known sectors. Are known, you know, we may be known for oil and gas, we may be known for other things in our nation, but agriculture, I believe, is going to be one of our largest sector that we will deliver to the world and especially the region. In addition, you know, we have talked about the hemp industry, which is another new industry for Guyana. And again, it's the regulations was passed. We are now working on putting the operational plans into perspective. These are all new initiatives that, added to what the President has outlined from 2020 to 2023, is other commitments by 2025. There are many, many areas where I would really challenge all of us to pay attention to in some of those areas. With the cost of living, many have outlined, for example, that cost of living has gone up. I see Stabroek News today, you know, publish a center page on cost of living. And I want to really talk a little bit about what happens when you and I say cost of living has gone up. And then a lot of folks within that article and maybe in conversation with each other, refers to government should intervene. Government should do this. And one of the economic platforms is supply and demand. Prices are determined by supply and demand. Many in the article talked about government should regulate prices. Government should control prices. That's when we had a dictator in the 1980s under the PNC. They control prices, they control what we could have purchased, they control whether flour was imported, all of those things they control. You can't have a free market economy and have government controlling prices. What government has done in their bid to help cushion the cost of living, you've known many of it. One, we have implemented many tax initiatives, take off 200 plus taxes off of what Granger and APNU had done with us in 2015 to 2020. We have taken off all those taxes. And so it gives us most disposable funds. But costs are still going up. So government, and I was very shocked at Stabroek News today running headlines about the gas to shore. One of the most powerful initiatives, as His Excellency has announced in his administration, is bringing the gas to shore to reduce energy costs, or electric bill especially, by 50%. Now, why would rich people, if you look at those environmentalists that is pounding that we should stop the gas to shore project, you look at some of the news media that said we should stop the gas to shore project or slow it down, why would they? Many of those people that are writing in Stabroek News don't live in Guyana. Why would they want to keep us, the citizens of our nation, poor? Why would they want us to pay this high cost for electricity because of the fuel prices around the world? How stupid could that be? Why would anyone in our nation, or even out of our nation, want to stop a project like the PNC did in 2011? They stopped the Amalia Falls project. That would have reduced our energy costs significantly. Already years into government now, we would have had cheaper energy. Here again, the same pundits, the same opposition parliamentarians, same news media, same environmentalists telling us now, Guyanese, we should not implement the gas to shore. It's ridiculous. The gas to shore project is one of those major initiatives. As energy costs is reduced, we're paying cheaper electricity. We have 50% more of what we are paying right now in our pockets. And guess what we would do? We would invest it back into what we know best, whether it's in agriculture, whether it's in agro-processing, whether it's in manufacturing. These are areas that allows us to create wealth among ourselves. And the more wealth we create, the better off Guyanese will be. So, how do we then take cheaper energy and use it for our betterment? And the same thing what the President talked about this week with the millets, new industry, the hemp industry a few months ago. Agro-processing, you've seen the improvement in agro-processing, asking to grow more food. Imagine if you are growing your local products and you move into packaging them neater, nicer. You know, a lot of us are accustomed to going to border market, buying the bora from the stands. Nothing wrong with that at all. But as we move up in areas such as hotels, as you know, 7 new hotels or more, I think the number today has jumped to 9, new hotels are being built in the Georgetown city alone. Thousands of new rooms, close to 1,200 new rooms we will have by 2025. Now, when those hotels go to buy, they tend not to buy, they want to buy products that are washed and clean and packaged right. How are you getting ready to supply those hotel chains? And I would advise nothing, again, I would say if you're a seller at border market, nothing wrong, or Stabroek Market, One Repo, anywhere in the country, nothing wrong and keep doing that. But if you can now look at the future is here. We have to make firm the arrangements for its arrival. And that's what we want to make sure that you get ready for. So start looking at how you package these goods differently. How do you step up your product line? And I just came back from the trip to Barbados with 42 agro processors. And I can tell you the region was very impressed in what we are producing. For example, and I brought, this is pepper pot in a box. 2 minutes in the microwave, you've got a very tasty pepper pot. My mom is in Louisiana. I sent this for her for Christmas, and she was shocked that Guyana can produce pepper pot, packaged professionally in a box, and be ready in 2 minutes. So now we don't have to wait till Christmas time to eat pepper pot. We can now have pepper pot anytime. You can get it at the new GMC store and probably other parts in the supermarket. Another product that was very interesting is this thing called Only Coconuts. This is coconut flour. There's coconut chips, other products in the coconut. The largest distributor in Barbados signed a deal with this company to buy their products to distribute in Barbados and the Caribbean. Quality products being produced in our nation. What is so important that His Excellency has challenged us to step up our game, step up our product line, get to international standards, package right, and there will be markets for it. So another product great on the streets, selling in the Caribbean. Honey. Have you seen honey? Those that used to buy foreign honey, packaged very similar to this in the international, those who have traveled around the world. This is our honey, now on the shelves in many supermarkets around the world. I got one more to show you. Barbecue sauce. This one is golden apple. Imagine if your family living in New York City and you tell them you can send them golden apple barbecue sauce for them to barbecue on Independence Day, July 4th, whenever they barbecue. Imagine how much of them would ask you for this golden apple barbecue sauce, much as all the other components. I brought those to show you that we are, as the President would like us to do, stepping up in our production. We are not listening to the negativity. We are not listening to those out there that recently called for violence. Imagine calling to pick up guns to fight our own people. And then the opposition leader said that's free speech, that it's okay to tell people to pick up guns, tell the army to fight among our nation. If you just look at President Putin from Russia, who was just indicted by the International Court for crimes against humanity, you pick up a gun and see what crime you would have committed. We may have a little lax law where people can call for violence. The U.S. delegation, 2 weeks after this opposition leader and others called for or allowed the call for violence in our nation, was in our country. Congressional visits, senior congressional leaders of the United States of America came in, and one of their key message that democracy is here to stay. And I can tell you, among most of us, except those in the PNC leadership and WPA leadership who believe they got to fight for power, let me tell them plain and straight, democracy is here to stay. As the U.S. delegation said, they ensure good governance, democracy, and rule of law will always be in Guyana. It's good to have big countries like the UK and Canada and the European Union and the United States of America and others ensuring that those crazy opposition that would believe that they can take power by guns, it will never happen in our country. And if you are sitting there not condemning, I ask you to think through. Imagine if we just have a simple uproar in our nation. Somebody decides to follow the opposition in pulling out guns to shoot us. What would happen to our country? Imagine you can't get to border market to sell your product. Imagine we can't get the pepper sauce and the pepper pot to Barbados and other parts of the world. Imagine the streets empty. Imagine nobody buying your product. What would happen to cost of living? The supply and the demand will change. And so as we look and we considered what government has done to cushion cost of living, even in the forestry sector, we have put 900 million revolving fund to help the forestry sector. We have given out the cash grants. We have taken back all the Granger taxes off of ourselves. We have taken off taxes off of fuel. You've seen some of the lower costs, even our electricity bill, the gas stations. Imagine if that didn't happen, we would have had true cost of living. If you go to Suriname and other parts of the world, they can't control it, they can't buffer it. Our leadership has predicted, has looked at an integrated plan in how we will put our initiatives in place. It's not one or the other. We have both short-term plans, like the gas off of the taxes off of gas. We have reduced, there's no taxes on building materials. We're giving out cement and steel for housing. We have constructing thousands of houses across the nation. Cheaper mortgages, cheaper interest rate from the banks, all to help Guyana, help the citizens be able to live comfortable, to build on their wealth, to build on their prosperity. That's our president's vision. And every day you can look at his comments, you can read his Facebook posts, you can read the newspapers, and you can see his drive, his initiative, his dedication, his commitment in making our nation a safer place, making our nation a wealthier place, concentrating on us, the citizens, not letting the rhetoric and the negativity of the opposition and some parts of our media distract him. That's what you call bold leadership. That's what you call courageous leadership, what you call a man of his convictions, that will deliver on his commitments to the nation. And his government, his entire government, every single day you see cabinet members out there working aggressively. Minister of Water said the other day the goal is treated water across the country. So people says, where is the oil money going? Although we haven't really built up significant oil revenues that some folks are talking about, where is the initial oil money going? One, it's ensuring we got safer water. Right? It's building out the infrastructure across the country. Imagine it taking an hour plus, 2 hour plus to come from the west coast into the city. A new 4-lane high-span bridge across the Demerara River. This year, sometime we'll start the Quarantine Bridge. Thousands of roads being redone. I drive in some villages and I'm just pleased, absolutely pleased, to see people can walk in their village without mud on their shoes. Cars can drive in. Children can get to school walking or getting a bus or taxi or whatever. It's just amazing. In the less than 3 years that His Excellency has took office, he's been able to deliver much less what is coming in the next 2 years and beyond. And that's where the infrastructure development, the gas ashore, the Amalia Falls, are all key components in the development of our country. And I want to just go back to the gas. Right? Imagine if you're buying cooking gas at $4, $5 a bottle, small bottle, and that is reduced in half or maybe more in less than 2 years or 2 years. How would you feel? Wouldn't that be more money in your pocket? right? We're looking at an oil refinery that has been announced this year that crude from our portion of the oil could be refined in Guyana. Imagine we are buying heavy oil right now, we're buying gasoline right now from around the world. It has to be shipped, right? You have to pay for the logistics, you have to pay for the broker, you have to pay, for the truckers from wherever it's being bought from, delivered to Guyana and then delivered to the gas station. Imagine how much more money we are paying for that same gallon of gasoline. Imagine it being refined in Guyana. There's no logistics cost. It's just the cost, market price of our crude, refined cost, and our gasoline prices will go down even further. We have a lot to look forward to in our nation. And that's why, no matter how negative we feel sometimes, how we want to complain about little things, you gotta sometimes have a little patience. And the saying go patience to the point, persistence to the point of success is very important as we look forward to these initiatives taking place in our country. And that's one of, I believe, His Excellency's strongest points. I mentioned last week in the program in the military, which I was, we have to complete a mission. That's the goal. You have a mission, you complete it. In the corporate world, right, you don't survive unless you're able to gain profits and customer service. In the political world, you don't get voted in again if you don't deliver on your commitments. And that's what our president is doing. Everything he said in our manifesto, he's ensuring that we deliver it every day. Why did APNU get kicked out from 2015? They promised good life, right? They raised taxes, 200, they raised their pay raise, they stifled the economy, they fired sugar workers, all of those things we keep hearing they did. And guess what? You voted them out. Absolutely, we voted them out of office because they didn't deliver. And if you look at today, and you look at our manifesto and the things that we have committed to, we are delivering on those commitments. And we will continue to deliver our infrastructure plan, our economic plan, our people plan. It's exciting to see children today looking forward to newer schools being built. You watch the classrooms being automated across the country. Healthcare. Imagine healthcare is one of the key things for us as citizens. The new hospitals, 6+ new hospitals being built across the country. Modern healthcare system, modern diagnostic equipment is in our nation right now. We really don't have to travel outside of Guyana to get great healthcare. That's where government is investing in. Healthcare and education for our people. We have improved salaries for nurses and teachers, for public servants, all continuously looking at how do we improve the lives of our citizens. And as we look at other components of government, we talked about water, the roads, the schools, the hospitals. Look at the private sector stepping up. Hotels across the country being built. The influx of visitors happening in our nation is fascinating. British Airways lands in Guyana in a week from London. New tourists, new business folks coming from India, from the Arab world, from Europe, coming into Guyana now with a direct flight through St. Lucia to our nation. What does that bring to you? So again, I want to make sure that when you think of our country, and a simpler way to put it is draw a T table. Put the current government and put the opposition on one side. List the 25 things that government is doing today in our country. Something that you can say, I saw. You could have walked on a new road today. You could have paid a lesser price, or you paid a lesser price for gasoline than it should be. Right? You've paid even lesser price for electricity, because we took VAT off of electricity, we took VAT off of water, we took VAT off of data. These are things you can feel and touch. You can check that box. Right? You can see the Demerara Bridge started. You can see the expansion of roads in all regions. You can see the reduction, the increase in our budget with no new taxes. Those are all areas you can write down on the left side of this table. Write down on the right side of your table what the PNC and the opposition has done. Negativity, want to pull guns on us. No, want to stop the projects like the gas to shore, which will reduce our costs for electricity, improve our economics in agriculture. Right? Continue to write down rhetoric on elections. Right? And I know local government elections is coming up in June, 12 June. Very important that all across Guyana, in every town, we pay attention to what we are faced with in elections. And what is that? For those towns like Georgetown, Linden, Bartica, that has always voted for PNC, what in the last, as long as those towns have existed, have you gotten out of them? Have you seen any councillor out of Georgetown come and walk your streets? And they tell you why your trash is not being picked up? Or they tell you why there's so much corruption in City Hall? They tell you what they have done for Georgetown, or Linden especially? If central government, and thanks to His Excellency Dr. Ali, that didn't step in to make sure roads that is not even that central government should do, beautification of our areas, Linden, it's all happening together. Roads being built within the town limits and fixed. If he didn't step in, where would we be today? So you have a choice come June 12th. You've had them forever. Vote them out. Vote the PNC out of Linden. Vote the PNC out of Georgetown. Vote them out of Bartica and anywhere else they are, because they have not delivered as government. APNU government 2015 to 2020. They were dictators prior to that in government. And so you have not benefited from any of them. Don't waste that vote this time. I challenge you to give the PPP candidates a chance. Let us deliver. You've got 2 years. If we didn't deliver, you could vote us out. Guyana is an exciting place to be. It's an exciting place to live. We all have to come together, join hands under our President One Guyana, work together. Our dream is there. It's happening in front of our eyes. The future has arrived. We are making forum all the arrangements, we the citizens. Let's ensure that negativity doesn't take us anywhere. Let us make sure we reject the opposition call for guns. As the international community has indicated, we will work together to continue to make our nation a place to live, a safe place that is just beautiful for our children and our grandchildren coming up in the near future. Thank you very much, and God bless you.